So continuing in the series, I decided to rewatch The Rise of Skywalker, but this time I took notes. That is right, I rewatched the entire movie and took notes scene by scene. So I'm really just going to break it down, what my thoughts were. I have these really shitty, scribbly notes in front of me that I haven't gone over prior to recording this video, so this might be a little rough, and I've drank an entire French press of coffee plus more, so just bear with me here, but I'm going to try to get through this. So for the first scene, Kylo looks really cool. You know, the environment looks really cool, really badass, really good transitions, you know, just a cool thing with the holocron. All that stuff looks really nice. Going on to the second scene with Snoke and Sheev, that intro is complete shite. It's so bad that when I went to rewatch this movie, I didn't actually want to get through this scene. The whole, I made Snoke, I invented Snoke, and there's these like fucking Snokes in Bacta tanks, like these deformed Snokes out there. It's like, what is this shit? Like, this is actually stupid. Oh my gosh, Sheev is back after 2 movies. Palpatine, oh my gosh, this is amazing. No, it sucks. It's stupid. Okay, something I can't even read, but something game was cool. What's going on in intro flying? I don't even know what that means, so I'm just gonna get to the next note. Okay, so Leia being a Jedi Master, I think is actually really cool, because as we know from the original trilogy, you know, Leia is Force sensitive, you know, all the EU, non-canon stuff, she is a Jedi, so I think her being a Master is completely appropriate, and I really like it. I think she's a great teacher, and I think it fits her role very well, as opposed to her being a general, which I just think doesn't work as much. Like, her being a teacher, I feel like is her role, and I really like that. I think the flashbacks are really well done in all that scene with Rey. I think the Leia and Rey dialogue is a little bit cringe. I don't know, just a little heavy-handed. I'm not a big fan of it. I think Oscar Isaac is great. I think he brings a lot of energy to the movie. And the whole Final Order shit with Snoke and not Snoke with Sheev, that's cringe. The Final Order. We have the First Order, and now it's to the Final Order. It's cringe. It's just stupid. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what to say, but it's stupid. You know, the whole scene where Leia talks about, it's always been Palpatine, Rey. It's always been him in the shadows. That was a hard cringe. That was hard to listen to. It's always been Palpatine. They might as well have said, it's always been Jar Jar. It was always him from the beginning. It was stupid. Sith Wayfinder, yeah, the Sith Wayfinder kind of thing, the dagger and all that, you know, clues and all that stuff they had to decipher. I feel like that was kind of a MacGuffin. Really, the whole thing to find Exegol or whatever they called it, it was just a plot device. There was really no point of that, and it's kind of they get led on this kind of wild goose chase to figure things out. That's fine, but it's a little bit simple. Leia says, never be afraid of who you are, to Rey. I don't know what I really thought of that. I don't even know why I wrote that down. Yeah, the Knights of Ren and all that, like, chanting and stuff and all the... It's like some Mordor shit. It's like Lord of the Rings. Like, they're like the Ring Wraiths, pretty much, which... The Ring Wraiths are awesome, but I feel like they just ripped that off with the Knights of Ren, so I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest. I just don't know why they're really bringing this up now. Like, why are the Knights of Ren in this movie so much? They weren't in the other 2 at all, and now they're just like... They're just fucking shit. I don't know how else to say that. Aki Aki was that scene with the pretty much Indian people. They're pretty much Hindus, which is fine, but a little bit of a ripoff of Hindu culture, I would say. You know, a little bit of appropriation going on. Rey facial not convincing. That's something I wrote down, and I thought of something very different when I just read that. But no, I just think her facial expressions are a little bit over the top. That's probably a really stupid thing to critique, but not a big fan. Force necklace. I don't really know what that is, but I wrote that down. Lando is pansexual. Why does Lando know Sith? Yeah, why does Lando know about this shit? Like, what is he doing? Like, let's just bring Lando back. And Lando's great. I love Lando. But it just seemed like, oh, we gotta get another character in there because we don't know what to do. And it just seems so anticlimactic to have Lando. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool for everybody, but they should have brought him in earlier if they were going to do that at all. I just don't get it, frankly, because he doesn't really play an important part. We don't really know much about him or why he's on that planet or why he knows about the Sith Wayfinder and all that stuff. Never underestimate a droid. I guess they said that twice, and I wrote that down, so that's just kind of unoriginal. I don't know. No weight to sinking fields. I don't know what that means, but I wrote that down. C-3PO can't translate Sith. I thought that was interesting, you know, because it's so evil or whatever. He's not programmed to do it. That's pretty interesting, I guess. Not pretty fine. The Rey backflip over the TIE fighter it just seemed like kind of eye candy, but it was a cool scene, honestly. I mean, it looks cool, so I can't say much about that. The Rey with the force pull on the ship and the fake Chewbacca death, that was stupid. That was stupid. You know, Chewbacca dying on a fake death. Like, he's not even dead, and they thought he was dead. And we thought he was dead. And now, if anyone actually has read or knows anything about the non-canon versions, Chewbacca actually does die, like sacrificing himself. I think he saves, I forget who it is, but it's one of their kids. So Chewbacca does die in this. So I thought he was dead watching that, and I just think it's stupid. It's like a cheap kind of ploy to get you to, you know, kind of freak out and feel sad, and then he's not dead. Haha. You know, there was some scene with droid abuse. I don't know. A droid was getting abused. You know, okay. Oh yeah, it's that droid, that little scaredy droid. He's like been abused. I thought that was just kind of strange, honestly, for a droid to be acting like that. I don't think droids really can be abused, but it was just kind of whatever. Yeah, all the main characters aside from Rey are kind of pointless. I just think Poe, as much as I like his energy and I like Finn as well, they just don't have much to offer in this movie. They're just not doing anything but being her sidekick. You know, think of the originals, think of the prequels. Like, every of the three main characters has their own thing they're doing as well. They're not just tagging along for the ride, right? They all have their own roles, and I just feel like these characters just aren't used enough. I don't know. There's really just nothing binding these main characters together as well. Like, I get it, they're friends, and it's like, oh, you know, just playing around and whatnot, but they don't really have a serious relationship, right? And I'm not saying people have to be related and whatnot, but, you know, look back to the prequels. Look at the relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan, Anakin and Padme, and even Padme and Obi-Wan, really. But, I mean, the prequels, the originals, they all have some kind of deep connection. In this one, they're just friends, and that's great, but I don't know, I just feel like for three main characters, there's not much going on between them. And I don't know. You know, when they revealed that Poe was a spice runner, that was just so out of nowhere, and I think it's just trying to create this anti-hero illusion, you know, like he's some Tony Soprano type of, you know, ooh, he used to be a drug dealer, he used to be a criminal, but now he's fighting for the good side. You know, I guess Tony Soprano never did that, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like, it's kind of getting this anti-hero, ooh, that's really edgy, you know, he's like Breaking Bad, or he's like some criminal or whatever, but so what? You know, that just was revealed out of nowhere. It just seems stupid. I wrote down that there was a funny joke. So there was one funny joke in there. There was one funny joke, at least. Babu Frik? Babu what the frick? Babu what the frick? He was pretty cool, honestly. I just wrote that down, but he was pretty cool. He was kind of funny. I liked that whole scene. When they're reprogramming C-3PO, I thought there were some funny jokes in there, and I thought Babu Frik was pretty cool. I just liked him, honestly. You know, I have to mention this. This is the most serious point I'm going to make all video. But how can you have a movie with Keri Russell in it and you don't actually show her face. I mean, I could only dream of being so wealthy as Disney is to be able to cast Keri Russell in a film and not even show her face. I mean, that come on, guys, like, you're really doing us a disservice here. Come on, man. I don't know. I mean, if you guys have seen The Americans, if you haven't, I recommend it. It's pretty adult, you know, it's pretty violent, but I would highly recommend watching it. It's a really good show. But yeah, I mean, come on, man. Why? We just see a mask on her, man. And I also said, you know, Poe is probably choosing not to go with her. That was pretty gay, honestly. And I'm not trying to, I don't know, man. I think Poe might be gay, and I don't have a problem with that. That's totally cool with me. But I think he probably is, for not going with her, because who gives a shit? Who really wants to fight with Rey and Finn when you can have Keri Russell and live on some beautiful island planet? I mean, come on, man. That's ridiculous. Rey mind trick. Like the bro stormtroopers. There was a scene like stormtroopers, they were just being bros. And that was hilarious because stormtroopers are just so, I don't know. I just feel like they would be bros. Like, just bro culture, really, just kind of chilling, not really caring. I don't know, I kind of like that. I wrote down someone was screaming. There's a lot of screaming in this movie that I found unnecessary. Just a lot of, you know, shit like that. And I'm like, you know, why? Why do we need all this shit? I don't know. The Rey and Kylo Force duel. Oh yeah, that scene where they're communicating through the Force and they are kind of dueling. That was awesome. That was really well done. Kind of building off The Last Jedi in that sense, their relationship. And I have to hand it to the cinematographers, to the director. Really good stuff. It looked amazing, and it's just a really cool spin on kind of the Force. And something I love from Last Jedi that I really love in this movie. Hux being a spy, that's okay. I'm fine with that. Him saying, I don't care if you win, I just want Kylo to lose. That was pretty bitchy right there. That makes no sense. It makes Hux look like a bitch, which Hux is a bitch, by the way. You know, I think I said that in my last video. I think Hux just sucks. Hux sucks. You know, he's a trash character. Like, you just want Kylo to lose, so that's why you turned, and then you got killed for it. Like, I just think that's stupid. You know, why? I mean, that's so bitter and so petty. It's like he's like a little, like a high school girl, gossiping and backstabbing just because he hates someone. I never cared for you. I just wanted to screw them. You know, he's like Pretty Little Liars, or what's that movie called? Wednesdays We Wear Pink. That's pretty much, what is that movie called? On Wednesdays We Wear Pink. I don't know, but that's pretty much who Hux is. He's a bitch. He's a bitch. Rey being a Palpatine. That right there was some shit. Really. I mean, they build up this story over the last two movies that Rey is a nobody, and I think they really meant it when Kylo said, you're a nobody, you know, your parents sold you for drinking money. And you know, Star Wars has always had this kind of familial connection, right? There's always been the Skywalker lineage and, you know, connection by blood, which I think makes sense. But it's just so stupid to have it, the main theme being, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter your blood, you know, it doesn't matter that, and then raise a Palpatine, and that's a big deal. And also we have to remember that this means that Sheev, Palpatine, he was banging some broads. He was having sex. I mean, I just find that amusing, that wrinkled prune face, you know, he was getting it. I mean, he was the leader of the galaxy, so you really can't blame him, honestly. But, you know, Palpatine having a grandkid is just weird. It's just weird and funny to me. So, I don't know. I just think it's a stupid kind of dual message. Doesn't matter who you're related to, and then all of a sudden it matters so much to Rey. And I guess they kind of tie that up in the end, which I'll get to. But, you know, Rey and Kylo being a dyad in the Force, I just didn't think that made much sense. Honestly, they just kind of made that shit up, and I get it. Kind of explains their relationship, but I don't think we needed that. Like, their relationship was cool enough on its own, and that didn't do anything for me personally. Rey getting revenge, the kind of, this whole thing, like, no one gets me, bro. Like, you don't know me, you don't know my story and what I have to do, and I have to get revenge on, I don't even remember who she was getting revenge on, but it's that whole, like, edgy, I have my hood up, I listen to Linkin Park, no one understands me, I'm edgy, I'm cool. It just seemed kind of stupid to me, and I just thought it was kind of comical. Got one page done. I got one more to go. The knife protractor doesn't even line up in that one scene, if you notice. Just an odd thought. If you go back and watch it, it doesn't even make sense. So I don't know what they were doing. Something about C-3PO and Babu Frik, oldest friend. That was a great joke. I don't know what that means, but it was a great joke. I don't even know. Great music, I gotta say. Fantastic music. Really eerie in certain scenes. Really cool. Good music. Good chair. Good lumbar support. Great view of utter blackness. The Rey Sith was kind of hot. I don't know why I wrote that down, but it was kind of hot, and it also kind of scared me. It was a bit of a jump scare. I don't like jump scares, I'm just not a fan in general. I don't think they add much other than they annoy me. But the Rey Kylo water duel was really cool. I love the dueling in the sequel trilogy generally. I love the heavy-handedness of it. It's like they really are two knights with big, heavy, two-handed swords, and all the blows really matter. And it's a totally different style than the prequels, which was flippy, acrobatic, which was cool in its own right. But I love just getting back to that heavy-handedness, emotional, angry style of dueling. I think it's really, really cool. Leia giving up strength and dying, I don't know. I guess it was fine. I don't really have much to say about it, but I guess she had to die sometime, and really, she was long overdue to die. Even though I liked her in this movie, to some extent, she was long overdue to die. Rest in peace, Carrie Fisher, but, she really needed to go anyways. Rey wanted to take Ben's hand, again, she wanted to, said she wanted to take Ben's hand, and, you're not Kylo's, and that's fine, I get that, him turning to Ben at that moment. I also want to talk about a spin-off series that I want to pitch to Disney called Star Wars: The Return of Schnoz. That's a really important character. I really wish they did more with her. But, who knows? Hopefully we get a spin-off series on Disney Plus with her. Han probably loved being in this, LOL. Yeah, if you guys know the history of, Harrison Ford, he wanted his character killed off in Empire. So, Harrison Ford's kind of a prick, honestly, and he just wanted to be done. And I don't blame him, in a sense, but it's kind of funny that he actually had to go act in this movie again, right? How many years later, being in the last of the sequels? He didn't even want to be in the last of the originals, so I just find that kind of funny. But he probably got paid a cool, $10 million just for that scene. I don't know. RoS is pretty much a grunt. What I mean by that is, she's not really a character. She's just kind of another rebel fighter. And I don't know if she was really... I don't know why she was really added. I don't have anything against her. She doesn't bother me at all. But I don't know. There's just nothing to her. There's really nothing to RoS other than she's a good-hearted rebel, which is fine. Battlefront 3 Leia. I don't know what that means, but I wrote that down. Oh yeah, so why does Rey go back to the island, to Luke's island? I guess she's scared of becoming a Sith, which I just find kind of, she gives up, she's gonna do what Luke did, because she's scared of the dark side. Okay, I get it, it's kind of a tie-in to Last Jedi, but, I don't know, it's kind of stupid to me. Luke orgasm face, ship lift, I don't know what any of that means, but I wrote that down. Rey is LARPing. Yeah, I guess you're just kind of LARPing. I don't know. Acting like Luke. Prepping for the final battle is too much stimulus. And what I mean by that is, I do remember what this one means, is that in the original trilogy, and I hate to be this guy who's comparing it to them all the time, but even in the prequels, and really every movie, like when they're prepping for a battle, when they have something going on, like it's like one person talks at a time. You know, when Mon Mothma explains the plan, and then occasionally someone will interject with, it seems natural, right? Someone's talking for most of the time, and then someone else interjects and says a little thing. But in the sequels, whenever they're getting ready for a big battle, it's like every single person, every single nobody has to have like one line. It's like just fucking one-liners. Like, let's get this alien to talk on the right, and this black dude over here, and you know, this woman over here, and this other alien, and then this weird-looking hippie white guy. I don't know why I even brought that into it, but you know what I mean. It's like every single person needs to talk strategically, and it needs to be like one line. And like I don't give a shit who they have talk, but like, why not just make it more focused on one person explaining the plan, then maybe Finn talks, and then Rey talks or whatever. But it's just so much stuff, and there's so much stuff moving around, and it's like, it's just too much, man. It's just too much. Finn equals a feeling. I don't know what that means. Something. Yeah, why are they all generals? Like, why is every single one of them a general? I don't really get that, but I guess they do that. Whatever. Them not using speeders is dumb. I don't know what that means. I really started writing shitty at the end of this movie, probably because I didn't care. You know, Rey and Kylo fighting the guards look pretty cool. I mean, again, great choreography with the fighting. I have no complaints there. The Dyad restores the one true emperor. They're making up stupid shit as they go. That's what I wrote down, because they're just making that shit up. The Dyad in the Force restores the one true emperor. Can you imagine them pitching this to the board? Like, so, you know, we could have this thing where Kylo and Rey are like a dyad, like a connection, and somehow, you know, that restores Sheev to the throne. You know, the one true emperor can only be brought back. It's like, it's making shit up, you know. There you go. I mean, there's nothing to connect that to the other movies at all. People? It's not a navy, it's just people. You know that scene where all the ships come through? And it's like all the people just decided to fight for the rebels or the resistance or whatever. That was fine. I get what they were trying to do there. It makes sense. That kind of tied into the whole, like, everyone really wants, you know, peace or whatever to fight with the good guys, which who knows if that's true or not, but I get what they were trying to do. It kind of tied in. Even though I think the connections are really shit in this movie, that did tie into the whole broom boy, the final scene of Last Jedi. So, hey, they had one good tie-in, right? You know how the boy's looking off into the stars, and then they have all these people come back, pretty much like in the spirit of him, right? The ordinary person rebelling against the tyrannical First Order. I think that was cool. You know, it wasn't anything great, it was cheesy, but it was a good connection, honestly. All the Jedi speaking at the end with Rey when she was fighting the Emperor. You know, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Anakin. I get it, but it seemed a little cheesy, you know, just to bring them back. Like, Rey's the ultimate Jedi. She's all the Jedi. It's like everything at once. It's like all the good and all the evil. And do, and fuck all. That's what it is to me. And it's just, they try to make it a lot, just way too grand. It doesn't need to be, you know, let's just make it grander and grander. Because we have no good ideas to make it good, to make it make sense. We're just going to make it bigger and bigger and bigger. And, I haven't talked about this on this channel, but that's how I feel like they went with the Avengers, with Infinity War, and like the Avengers started out pretty decent, and then it just got shit in my opinion. I know a lot of people love it, but it's like they had no good ideas. Let's just make it bigger and bigger, and just the fate of the universe and good versus evil and cosmic proportions. But there's nothing to make me care. So I don't care if it's the whole universe or if it's all the Jedi. I don't get chills to hear fucking Qui-Gon Jinn talking to Rey out of this stupid movie. So it's dumb. You know, the whole I'm all the Jedi, and the way they, like, the creepy Sheev face, how that shattered, and that looks cool, kind of reminiscent to Indiana Jones, you know, Raiders, where what's his name, the Nazi guy's face melts. but it was pretty weird, pretty creepy, but still it looked good animation, or whatever effects they used. It looked cool. Kylo Ren is a simp tier confirmed. I wrote that down. He pretty much did all that, just to get Rey to like him. He pretty much died, just to get Rey to like him. That really, that's a lot. That's doing a lot. Then they kiss. Okay, something about the life force. Gives it up, and Kylo disappeared with Leia. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say with that. Snoz lesbo kiss confirmed. Or Snoz is a lesbo, so I think that would be a pretty good spin-off series, honestly, for Disney Plus. I think they could pursue that arc. I'd like to see a lot more of that personally. So I don't know about you guys. And then at the very end, the whole black moment with Lando. I don't know what to say about that. It was funny. I really have nothing against it. I thought it was cool, actually. The ex First Order girl and then Lando have like this odd scene of like, we got to connect to our roots, like, kind of like a Pan-African type of movement, which, I'm really surprised something like that goes down in space. Like are black people all from a certain planet in Star Wars? Like, I honestly don't know, but I thought it was fine, honestly. I was cool with it. Totally out of nowhere, but funny and cool. And then Rey being a Sentinel, I thought that was a kind of a cool tie-in to the Clone Wars, to not really the prequels, but kind of the expanded universe and Clone Wars. Like, she has a yellow lightsaber. There's probably a whole lot of videos talking about what that means and whatnot. I thought it was cool. I love the look of the yellow lightsaber, and I like it that they kind of tied that in. She built her own. She's a Sentinel, kind of a peacekeeper of the galaxy. And then the very end scene. Rey Skywalker. What do I even say about this, guys? I don't know. I mean, I thought the scene looked cool. Ending on Tatooine, ending with the two suns, the silhouette of Rey and BB-8. It looked amazing. It's kind of that last attempt to create an epic ending, a tie-in to everything else, to the originals. Which is, I think, what this trilogy desperately wanted to do and just couldn't do most of the time. It looked cool. But the whole Rey being a Skywalker, the whole Skywalker is not a lineage. It's just a way of life, or it's a commitment. I think it's stupid, but I get it. Like, I understand why someone would have pitched that cheesy kind of crap. In fact, if I was pitching an idea to end this movie based on what we have, I might go for that as well. I don't know. Yeah, Rey Skywalker, but it's kind of like, okay, lineage doesn't matter, then it matters, and now it doesn't matter, right? And I guess you could just say that's Rey's character development, or her kind of figuring things out, and that's fine. So in that sense, you can look at it and say it's a positive thing, but I just feel like it's a little too flippy-floppy, and I don't know. I don't think Skywalker is a way of life or an opinion or whatever. I mean, look at Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon or any of the other Jedi that lived, great lives and that were really noble, stoic Jedi. And Rey could have just been one of them. It could have just been, I'm a Palpatine, or I don't care, or I'm a nobody, I don't care. But her being a Skywalker, I'm a Skywalker not by birth, but by association or whatever. Fine. I can't really knock it too hard, but I just feel like this whole thing sends mixed messages, and it's whatever. So that's my thoughts on The Rise of Skywalker. I'm sorry if I was a little negative about it, and I drank a lot of coffee before this, like I said. I just kind of went off, and if you made it to the end of this video, you're an absolute legend. And yeah, what else do I say about it? I didn't think it was good, and I think The Last Jedi sort of didn't do it any favors, but I just think they still could have made this movie much better. It was just like, Palpatine again, like I've said it before, he was a trump card. They didn't know what to do. They were back and forth on, what's important and what the sequels even mean, or I don't know. Obviously, I'm overthinking this. Yes, it's just a movie. That's what I do. I love Star Wars, and I know you guys love it too, so that's what I talk about. And yeah, I plan on doing this for the other movies, by the way. I did rewatch Solo actually a while back, and I took notes on that as well. And I'm going to need to watch Rogue One again as well. So definitely plan on continuing this series. Maybe I'll just do all the movies eventually. And I really love doing it. So until next time, guys, peace.